Alright guys, I'm here with MTVernonKid.
Hello.
And we're going to be doing the Cryptids Q&A. Yes, Chris, you are the perfect guy to talk about this kind of, do this kind of Q&A with right next to Zazubar.
Yeah, Cryptids. I'm a big believer, so make that no secret, people.
Alright, so you ready to jump into this?
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. First question comes from Marvel and DC 379. He asks, what cryptid do you think is the most frightening and causes the most controversy of his existence?
I would have to say, I'll actually, Jersey Devil, actually. Jersey Devil, then there's the Rook.
Yeah. The Ruguru.
Maybe, and even the Lizard Man.
Alright. For me, it's got to be the Jersey Devil as well. The Ruguru's up there. I think another one that that gets people talking is the... what was another one that I thought that was that just instills a lot of fear in a lot of people? I think the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
Okay.
There's another one. But that's just a few. So you want to move on to the next question?
Yeah, I was going to put the Owl Woman in there, too.
Oh, the Owl Man.
Yeah. And there's also the Owl Woman, the Owl Witch.
Yeah.
She's mostly based in the Southwest. So
alright.
That's a topic on that.
Oh, here's another one that's kind of scary. The Pukwudgie.
Okay, what's that one?
The Pukwudgie is a creature from... It's like an imp-like creature that lives... that is from Native American myth.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of like goblins.
Alright.
That lead you into the forest and get you lost and then devour you. They have the funniest sounding name, but they're scary as all hell. Oh, okay, so thank you for that question. Next question comes from Jerkwater100, and he asks, what is the most weirdest cryptid you've ever heard?
The weirdest... weirdest I think I've heard... what was it? I think it was from the Indonesian islands. I forgot what it was. I can't remember what it was called.
Would this thing happen to be a giant one-eyed monkey with a mouth on its belly?
There we go. That's it.
I can't even pronounce it, but it was on Face Off.
Yeah, that's it. I saw it on Destination Truth.
Yeah, that's going to be my answer, too. That's got to be a very weird one as well. I think another strange one is the... I think another weird cryptid is the... damn it, I'm trying to remember it. I can't even remember it, damn it. Oh well. But yeah, that one, I can't even remember the name of that creature, but yeah, it's an orangutan-like creature with one eye and a mouth on its belly. Yeah. So there's my answer. There's our answer. Next question comes from more crossovers, and oh boy, Chris, it's your favorite monster in the world, the facehugger. So here, okay, some more crossovers asks, okay, imagine this scenario. All the cryptids in the world, or at least the ones that you know about, get infected by facehuggers. What would the Xenos look like and be able to do with the, and how screwed would we be?
Really screwed, and I don't want to think about it. I don't like the facehuggers.
Oh yeah, for those who don't know, Chris is not a fan of the facehuggers in Alien. Not the aliens themselves, the facehuggers.
Oh.
What do you think, like, Xeno versions of cryptid aliens would be like?
I'm just picturing a xenocryptic of a Sasquatch, and that just makes me... hairy and slimy at the same time. Okay, but probably be super strong though too, even more than they already are.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that I can't really think of an answer. It'd just be we'd all be screwed beyond belief. All right. So next question. Think of that question. More crossovers. Next question comes from Mr. Goodplot, and he asks if someone was able to grab a rod just when he was in the middle of transporting in between dimensions, what would happen to that person? For those who don't know what a rod is, rods are supposedly these rod-like creatures that have wings on the side of them. You see them in cameras. Although, hasn't that been debunked as just flying insects?
Pretty much. They've had people debunk it.
Yeah, but let's take this with a grain of salt and say that okay, what are if rods could do that? I guess it depends. Like, I guess it'd send them to another dimension. That's the best way I can say with it. Alright. Next second question, Mr. Goodplot. Next comes from Linerman0245, and he asks, what would happen if all the cryptids in the world decided to reveal themselves to humanity? Not that they don't want to take over the world, but to clear their doubts about existence. I think this is kind of interesting because, what, do the cryptids just all get together and have a discussion about this?
That'd be kind of interesting because, first of all, then that will have a lot of people who've seen them actually be looked at as like, hey, you were right. You're not crazy or scared to tell you, hey, I've seen this. I've always hoped that kind of happens, so people can actually believe that, hey, there's these creatures on this world that actually exist. They just been in hiding for so long. That's the good news. But the bad news is then it becomes like now it's a hunt to catch one of these things in terms of for studying and stuff like that, and that could lead to something very bad.
Yeah. So yeah, but my thing, I just have this hilarious scene in my head of all the cryptids at this like board meeting talking about this.
You mean like the gathering?
Yeah, like they're at this one. They're all on Avalon talking to Oberon. And it's like, we should, like, Bigfoot just comes up and says, okay, guys, you know what I'm going to ask? And you see, like, Nessie and the Kraken and all of them, like, God, not this again, dude. I'm just saying, we should reveal ourselves. No, dude. Alright, so thank you for that question, Linerman. Next question comes from Mitchmeister. And he asks, in your opinion, do you actually believe in the existence of cryptids? Yes. And there are some that I'm kind of skeptic about, but I'm open to.
Yes, and the ones that I definitely believe in, yeah, but the ones that are more mystical and things, I can't really go with that one.
Okay, for example, I totally believe in the existence of Bigfoot and all the other Bigfoot-type creatures.
Yeah, those ones I definitely believe in the Bigfoot.
Because the thing is with Bigfoot is that it's a very believable creature because they all exist in areas that you could see that, and not only that, apes are very good at hiding. And for those who don't know, people didn't think gorillas were real until the 1920s. Everyone thought the gorilla wasn't a real animal until we found it, until it was documented in the 1920s. Everyone thought it was just a weird monkey man legend. Then we found it in the 20s, and we're like, oh shit, these things are real. So why can't that be with other apes?
And what makes it more believable that, yeah, Sasquatch, Yeti, however, all those, that it is very believable because as a lot of them explain to the people who do believe in them, is like, in certain areas of the world, there are still places on this planet that still have not been charted and, have been colonized by humans, that you can see that with this much vegetation and a supply of food, something of this size can live out here and may just be seen once in a while because, hey, nobody comes out here, so you wouldn't know better.
Yeah.
So it makes some sense, but then there's other ones that I'm not really too believable. Like the chupacabra, I'm not too believed in that one.
Really? Because they're getting closer to discovering that thing, like that weird dog-looking one in Texas.
Yeah, but then I look at that and I'm just like, that could be just a dog with mange.
Well, they took DNA tests on the body of one, and they said, yeah, we can't we don't know if this is not a dog species.
Okay, so I gotta check that out again, because that one's kind of iffy, and I'm trying to remember. There's some more that I'm not really too believable in. Oh yeah, well, even though it's kind of my culture, but the Thunderbird I'm not really buying too much. I can't picture something that big and hasn't been seen in the sky. I'm sorry.
Wait, hang on. The condor's that big.
Not big to the point where it literally covers, like, if you see the shadow is huge, and I can't buy that.
Okay, so it wouldn't probably be like gigantically big, but maybe something. I could believe that a large bird of prey, like something that could take probably carry children, could exist. Like maybe something with a large, not like something the size of a condor, but it's a bird like it can actually hunt living prey.
Probably. I mean, there have been documents that even just eagles have been able to lift children off the ground. So I'm like, okay, I can buy that.
Yeah, I think other things that I can buy into are a lot of sea creatures.
Definitely those. Those are ones I definitely buy into a lot.
Hell, we didn't think the Kraken was real, and technically it is real. Giant squids are real.
Yeah, and there's documented proof of giant squid.
So why can't
seen them wash up on the sea banks, but then finally we get to see them actually deep down alive and well. And it was like they had one where I watched the document where they actually had put a camera on a squid and he went deep down, and they literally you see something huge in the background, big eyes and everything, and it was just like, whoa. And it was on the Discovery Channel. It was really cool. Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah, and then they got footage of a real giant squid alive.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't even like trying to get it food. It was just curious about the camera.
So, those are definitely, I believe in those.
There are some giant sea monsters, like in lakes, that I'm really finding hard to believe in. Like the
lake monsters, I'm kind of a little bit more skeptical about. Now, more and more, it's to the point because it's like, okay, if it's a lake, and usually lakes don't end up anyplace else. They don't seep into any place else, so it's like, yeah, it's just really weird. I mean, for a long time, I still have my beliefs that maybe some of the like Loch Ness monsters.
Well, the thing is that they've done a whole thing about a whole thesis on why Nessie can't be real, or if it was
one.
The
but
thing
then it's the other one that's what they call Chewy, or yeah, it's the American version of Loch Ness. Kind of Chewy. That's what you call it. CHEWU.
You mean Champy?
Yeah, and that one too, Champy, that one as well.
Yeah.
And Betsy as well, the Lake Erie monster. That's the other one.
Yeah. And then you got the Flathead Lake monster.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the, like, you could believe in some, but there are some, like, okay, there is no way a lake like that could support a predator that large. But there are others, like, yeah, of course, the Sasquatches, because there can't be, you can't tell me that something like that, which has the same similarities as, you know, the one it's documented across the world, that they all look a lot alike, can be real. Now, the other one that I'm kind of, like, on is, like, the werewolf ones.
Then that's where we're going with the Arupa route.
Yeah. But that's more like a skinwalker.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, like, the Beast of Bray Road. But it's weird too, because like, have you ever heard this? Apparently, the police of Bray Road County, or wherever county it is, that county actually carry silver bullets. Because apparently it's like, in case of this thing is real, shoot it.
Some of the other, like, more like animal kind of cryptids, I kind of believe, like the megaconda, actually.
Yeah, those I can believe in real. Like, also the giant tarantulas.
Yeah, I'm kind of believing that because, once again, you know, it's the Amazon, and it's like a lot of the Amazon is not charted and discovered, and you know, something that big can probably exist without being, you know, seen. You know, the biggest anaconda I've read documented was actually at least 30.
Yeah. Another.
So, you just imagine something more bigger and thicker and with more girth to it. It's like, you know, they've done a lot of these you know, series where they've actually showcased, okay, how this would happen. You know, a lot of these cryptic shows that are very interesting that I've watched. You know, there used to be one that would come on Animal Planet called what was it called? Crap. Lost the name of it, but they would do it in more form of like almost like that, like an unsolved mystery type deal, like Dramatic Knives. No, it wasn't called that. It was called
Lost Tapes.
Yeah, there we go.
But wait, hang on. We'll talk about, because we got a question on that.
Okay.
So we got a lot of other questions. Do you want to just wrap this one up and move on to the next one?
Yeah, we can move on.
All right. Thank you for that question, Mitch Meister. Next comes Ultimate Comics Fan, and he asks, which cryptid seems most realistic to you? I'll say it again, the Sasquatches.
Yeah, we kind of answered that. Yeah, Sasquatch. Any one of those.
Well, the thing, like, here's the difference, because he asked, do we believe in it? This one's asking what seems the most realistic.
Then I would definitely say any of the Sasquatch type cryptids. You know, the Ohio grassman, the swamp ape, things like that. Those are the ones I will definitely believe more believable, especially because a lot of the evidence have, and you know, you can't just make that. That's why I also believe, because nobody just can have almost the same documented identification, like the way they see it. Most of them always say there's one specific ingredient, almost in a sense, to knowing that it's in the area, is this pungent stink that comes off of them, and I'm like, okay, I can probably believe that. Like, and then I've always said, it's like, no idiot's gonna be going out in the middle of nowhere and planting footprints, and then just like, hey, somebody can see this, it's gonna be great, you know, I just don't believe that. So those are more believable for me.
Yeah. Again, the giant animals, the larger animals, I mean, not like gigantic, like Goliath size, but more like those giant spiders, because they go to villages all the time and they have like defenses for these giant anacondas or giant spiders. Yeah, so that's just a little one for me. Yeah. So thank you for that question, comics. Next question comes from Grimlock1992, and he asks, what do you think is the Loch Ness Monster? Is it a plesiosaur or something else? I'll tell you what it is. Not real.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that as much as, if I don't discredit that they're probably seeing something out there and on that lake, but the thing about it is, it was once again documented when I was watching a show called River Monsters.
Yeah, I watched. I know the one you're talking about, and he was talking about. He basically discredited the whole thing of Nessie. Now, he did say that something like Nessie could have existed, but that was a long time ago, and the environment's changed to the point where if a thing like a plesiosaur existed, it'd either be dead or be seen by now.
Yeah, Jeremy Wade basically went on to showcase that what probably people are seeing is this shark that actually is jet black, and it can survive in the cold waters of Loch Ness and things like that. And the way it looked and how it comes up, it looks like a hump, and then it can descend back under. So I'm like, that makes kind of a lot of sense. So that's probably what people have been seeing all the time. I was like, okay, that ends.
And it's kind of sad too, because I really dug Nessie.
Yeah, I'm not saying that because I actually want to believe that there probably is something out there, but and the fact is also, a lot of people have described that yes, Loch Ness is a lot deeper than a lot of people think it is, and that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, but hey, you got those sharks are very uncommon, so. Anyway, so thank you for that question, Grimlock. Next comes Green Arrow Hunter, and he asks, who would win a fight between the Kraken and the Mokele-mbembe? For those who don't know what the Mokele-mbembe is, it's supposed to be a giant brachiosaur-type cryptid, and it's supposedly seen killing hippos.
Oh, I've heard that one too. That's the one in Africa. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't there a movie based off the Mokele-mbembe?
I think the first time I actually heard about that one was, once again, Destination Truth. That's where I heard about it.
Yeah.
And they say that it only comes out at night, like at times and things like that. And yeah, I had fights hippos, but I'll probably have to go with the Kraken. Actually.
Yeah, the Kraken. It's supposed to be they're huge. 2, like that thing can live out in deep water. So, yeah, I gotta go with the Kraken as well. Alright, so thank you for the question, Green Arrow Hunter. Next comes Jesse MB27. He says, I don't know if you watch Supernatural, but if of all the cryptids you have yet to appear on the show, which one would you want to see the most appear? Now, you watch Supernatural more than I do, Chris. What cryptid would you like to see on there?
I've stopped watching Supernatural, guys, but what the one seasons that I have seen, they've had many of them. I remember Chupacabra was on there at one point, Sasquatch, a lot of other cryptids. If there was one, once again, I would have to go with the Owl Witch. I would love to see that on there. That'd be kind of cool.
Alright, for me, I would like to see the Jersey Devil. I don't think they've done the Jersey Devil yet, as far as I know.
Did they do the Jersey? I think they did, but they didn't go too deep into it. But yeah, I think a better would be good to do it.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you for that question, Jesse. Next comes Travis Rendon, who asks, I have an idea for a regular show cartoon about cryptids living in a parallel Earth, about the dominant species and acting like humans are the ones that are seen. Basically, he has an idea for a cartoon that's like regular show, where the cryptids are the common monsters and humans are like the cryptid creatures.
That's funny.
So, I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Like, you follow a group of cryptid animals, like a Chupacabra and the Bigfoot and a few other monsters, and they're acting like an investigation agency to look for humans.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I would.
Alright. Thank you for that question, Travis. Next question comes from Marcus Keener, and he asked, what cryptids would you like to see in Gravity Falls, Black Lagoon, Doctor Who, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Okay, so for Gravity Falls, I'd like to see Bigfoot.
Okay.
The owl, the Mothman.
Mothman, yeah, that's a good one.
Werewolves. Well, I don't know if they count as cryptids, but I'd like to see werewolves and vampires done.
Let's see. Well, this is it's not really a cryptic, but some people still believe it still exists, but Megalodon would be kind of cool on Doctor Who. Let's see if Shake's right with Megalodon.
Yeah, like, oh, it'd be hilarious. Like, you see a Megalodon swallow the TARDIS.
Yeah, it just comes out, and the doctor's like, well, we got swallowed by something, doctor. Yeah. Megalodon.
would be also good on Doctor Who? The Mothman. Like, the Mothman turns out to be an alien.
Mothman would be cool. I definitely think Mothman would be good.
Well, basically, like, my idea is, like, the Mothman turns out to be an alien that's lost from his home.
That would explain, and he has, like, maybe ESP or something like that, so he can tell, like, when something bad's gonna happen or something like that.
Yeah, like, it's a psychic alien, like, one of the last of his kind, and his whole thing, like, you know how he shows up at every tragedy? It's him trying to be like, I'm trying to warn you people.
Right. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. For Black Lagoon, Black Lagoon is more realistic than, and I'm using that term loosely, with cryptids, but if you could pick one cryptid to be on Black Lagoon, what would it be?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Maybe like one of those maybe like the cryptic, like, once again another animal, like something that kind of like let's see what I'm thinking of. It's called what's it called, the Queensland tiger. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a carnivorous mammal based in Australia. It's supposed to eat dingoes and all kinds of stuff.
So, how about this? Like, they're supposed to transport precious cargo for like some animal trader, and the thing gets loose and turns out to be that thing.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Okay, for Ninja Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meeting the Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil, yeah, especially something closer to home. So yeah, they're in Jersey. That'd be definitely cool. They've already done worms, because I was gonna say the death worms or something like that. So yeah.
How about a kappa?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not really a cryptid, but that'd be fun. How about like well, they've done technically gators in the sewers, so.
Maybe the Wendigo.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, that's another one for Gravity Falls, Wendigo. That's just a few.
Yeah.
Alright, so thank you for that question, Marcus Keener. Next comes Fire Tools, and he asks, what would happen if the Owlman and the Mothman cross paths?
I think it'd be a really weird stare down.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that a lot of people are saying that the Mothman's a good monster, and the Owlman's an evil monster.
Yeah. I've heard more stories of the Owlman being more like he's more helpful. I mean, there are some stories here and there that say that it'll chase you down. It chase down certain people in a car and things like that, or it's flying right next to it and it starts to pump it and things like that. I'm like, okay. But with the Owlman, I hear more like vicious stuff. Like, yeah, he's like really out to get you.
Yeah. With the Mothman, you hear more stories that he's more like a messenger than a bad monster.
And from what I hear, the Owlman's based in England too, so yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the Mothman and Owlman are bitter enemies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you for that question, Fire Tools. Next comes Andre Partridge, and he asks, in your own opinion, what do you think of the Chupacabra actually looks like? I'm more inclined to believe the Texas Chupacabra, because that looks more believable than the Puerto Rican type.
Yeah.
Because the Puerto Rican type is like, that looks straight up alien. I'm not discrediting it, but if I was to pick between the two, it'd have to be the Texas breed.
Yeah, I do feel that it is some sort of canine.
Well, people are trying to say, like, now the Chupacabra is like a subspecies of hyena.
Yeah, so that would make it cat then, because that's what hyenas are, or something like that. But the one they showed when they were, I seen that the one that you're talking about, the Puerto Rican version. Yeah, that seems more alien based, and I'm like, yeah, I can't picture something like that actually existing. And I mean, I'm not saying because if it was, then I'm gonna be scared shitless. But yeah.
All right. Thank you for that question, Andre. Next question comes from Carlotta Studios, and this person asks, what would happen if you had a Nessie TV show? Who would she be one of the main characters, or be an antagonist, or would you basically asking a Nessie TV show, kind of like in the vein of like Godzilla the animated series?
Animated or live action?
Animated.
Animated. I would guess you can kind of go that route with it as well. You know, kind of go the route of, yeah, well, it is there, but then it's like only certain people have seen it, or there's a group of people that keep it a secret or something like that. Because that's how they've always done it with the TV series and stuff that I've seen. I've seen a couple of movies where it does exist, and certain people of that land, especially with people of Scotland, have kept it safe from outsiders. They know it exists and things like that. Like, there was one show that I remember, it had Ted Danson in it. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but he found it, but a lot of people kept it safe. The people of Scotland kept it safe.
Yeah, because it was like the last of its kind.
Yeah, and things like that. And he didn't give any evidence to the scientific community. He gave it back to the people. So, but yeah, I can kind of see it like coming off like that.
All right, cool. Thanks for that question, Carlotta Studios. Next one comes from Omnitron12345, and he asks, if you were lost in the woods and forced to choose one of these following cryptids to be hunted by, Jersey Devil, Pissed Off Sasquatch, or the Chupacabra?
I don't want to be chased by anyone, actually.
Well, if you had to choose, I'm gonna say Chupacabra. That thing's small. I got a better chance of fighting it.
Yeah, if it's a Chupacabra, okay, yeah, because Sasquatch is big, and I'm scared. Even if I try to climb the tree, it just yank me right out of it. And the Jersey Devil can fly, and I don't want that thing coming at me either.
You've been through the Pine Barrens, so.
Yeah, I've been through there once or twice, and I'll tell you, going to my aunt's and cousin's house out there, you could see it. Like, it's really dense, and it's a huge place. It's not a just a little wooded area. It's very dense and thick, and don't even think about going even at night. At night's even scary. It's like you don't know what's out there. It's just really scary. You hope to God your car doesn't break down out there, because you don't know what's gonna come at you.
I'm gonna have to pick Chupacabra.
Yeah.
All right. Malingar asks, how well do you think cryptids have been handled in the Secret Saturday series, and would you like to see the show return someday?
You want to answer that?
Well, I guess this counts as because someone asked us this question too. Have we seen Secret Saturdays? Yeah, we have seen Secret Saturdays. It was a cool show. It was a cool way to bring in lesser-known cryptids, and it recently came back in a crossover with Ben 10. Yeah, Ben 10 Omniverse did a crossover. I believe, yeah, I think they did do that crossover, because apparently Secret Saturdays is in the same universe as Ben 10.
I thought they did a good job with it. I did like the show. I thought it was fun. I wish it stayed on longer. I wish it does come back. Who knows? But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun show.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good show, more or less. So thank you for that question, Malingar. I think they handled cryptids very well. And it had more like a sense of like a cryptid version of the Herculoids.
Pretty much.
It felt so much like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Anyway, next comes from Closix. I apologize if I'm messing up the name, Closix. Do you believe Sasquatch, Yeti, Yowie, and other cryptid hominids are all the same animal? I don't believe they're the same animal, but I believe they're the same species.
Yeah, I think they're all different species, like subspecies of the same, what a lot of people, Gigantopithecus, actually, yes. I think it's just different subspecies that branched out and were able to, live in certain areas. Because some say they're smaller than the others. They all don't look the same. Some are smaller, some are this color, some are that color. It's just, but I do think they are the same species, though. They're just subspecies.
Yeah. That's my thing, too. So thank that question. Next comes from Wolfman the Impaler, and he asks, what cryptid would you want for a pet, and what would you name it?
I don't know if I can handle any one of them as a pet. I really wouldn't want to have it as a pet. I definitely pick Sasquatch, but I really wouldn't want him as a pet. I let him come and go as he pleases. And his name wouldn't be Harry either, so just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
I'd probably call him Brawn, because he's like one of the Transformers, Brawn, because it's so big.
I don't know. I'd want something smaller, like a Chupacabra. I ain't calling it Charlie neither.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what I'd name it, but it wouldn't be that. So there's our answer. Thank you for the question, Wolfman. Next comes from Robert Larson, and he asks, if you could assemble a team of cryptids that would work for the government as a spy assault team, which ones would you pick? These cryptids would have human-like intelligence.
Definitely Sasquatch in there.
So, dude, it's basically asking, what would we ask for, like, Howling Commandos?
Yeah. Definitely Sasquatch would be up there.
Was, like, the leader?
Probably, because he seems to be very much the most intelligent. So I would definitely pick him. I can't really think of anything else. Like, definitely Sasquatch.
Okay, Sasquatch as the leader. Mothman is like the aerial assist and the ESP member.
Okay.
The Beast of Bray Road is the feral member, like the Wolverine type. The Chupacabra as the like sneak-in member, as like the stealth member.
Try to get something for water, like this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like Nessie's too big.
Yeah, Nessie's too big. I would say a mermaid.
I guess that could work.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we call this? The Cryptid crew?
Yeah, Cryptic vibe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I want this as a comic or TV show now. Alright. So next question comes from BooRat1, and he asks, have you ever watched Lost Tapes?
Yes.
I love it.
I love that show. Wish they didn't stop that show. I love that show.
Yeah. Well, now we have Cryptid the Swamp Beast.
That's another one that I'm currently watching now. I actually kind of stumbled upon that just one day, just flipping through channels, and I was like, what's this? And I thought it was really cool. And I was like, okay, it's kind of like, almost like I said, it kind of reminds you a little bit of how Cops is, like, and then all the stuff that goes around. And the thing about it is, like, as much as it may be dramatized, but it just gives off an authentic feel, like what it's like to live in like a small backwaters Cajun town. It's the way they talk, and it's just like you hear how these people talk, and it's just like this is just real life to them. Like,
yeah.
The cops even say, like, there's like a lot of people out here, just they keep to themselves. They Another show that I was watching, they just finished. They just wrapped up their season of it. Was it's on the network called Destination America.
Yeah, Monsters and Myths in America.
Yeah, that one was.
But you want to get back to Lost Tapes?
And like I said, there was Destination Truth when I don't know if they're gonna do it anymore, but that was fun to watch.
Yeah. So with Lost Tapes was a lot of fun. I think they added a good amount of horror because that show's hard to watch it late at night. Just get your
there were episodes that I really had to watch like early because just the way it was, I was just like, oh man, like I can imagine how scary that is. Like there was one where they were being stalked by Sasquatch, and it was they just had the night vision on, and the guy backed up into him, and he just grabbed him. I was like, oh my god, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, the Wendigo one is terrifying.
Yeah, that one was freaky. I was like, oh. And then they had the one where they actually had the oh god, what was it? There was this boy who actually he looked inside his wall and he saw these creatures in there, and I was like, oh, and these creatures coming through this closet at night. I was like, that's freaky.
Yeah. Another good one's the Kraken.
That one was cool. And I think they had one where they had a Yeti in it. That was kind of funny, but it was kind of funnier more because you actually saw the Yeti coming down the hallways after them. It just looked really funny. I was like,
yeah. Oh, here's another good one. Another good two ones: the Giant Centipede one and the Jersey Devil one.
The Jersey Devil one was scary because I could just those little girls sold it, and the Centipede one was really eerie because I was like, even though I don't mind centipedes, but something that big, I was like, oh no.
That's another one I'm willing to believe could be real.
I was like, oh, that just. And I think they did one on the death worm too. That one was kind of freaky too.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
One that really pissed me off was they did do one on a Thunderbird, and the boy left his brother behind even though he got hurt, and I was just like, oh, you left him there? I was like, really? And he was just crying for help. I'm like, oh, that just pissed me off.
Yeah. I think another really good one is the what was it? The alien one?
I remember that one.
Yeah, the parasitic alien. What was another one? Like
they did do a Megaconda one. They actually did that one.
Yeah. Another good one was the there's so many. There's a lot of good ones.
Mm-hmm. They did do the Mothman one too. They did that.
They did the Owlman.
They did the Owlman. They did werewolves. Hell, they even did zombies. I was just like, okay, now you go. There they went to Resident Evil. Oh, that's what they one I remember they did also the Stogore.
Yeah.
Romanian vampire.
Yeah. That's when they get the later seasons. Just you had it felt too much like Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's because they actually had the same
cast
just coming back and playing that round. I was like, yeah, now it's getting too Resident Evil now.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we did love that show. So actually, yeah, we answered this. So thank that question, Boo Rat. We answered the Secret Saturdays question from Action Fan 19. Next question comes from the Spawn 117, and he asks, do you think all the cryptids could be interesting prey for the Predator, and what would happen if Loch Ness met Godzilla? To answer that second part of the question, because it's one question conjointly too, Nessie has met Godzilla before. Granted, it wasn't the Godzilla we know, it was from the Godzilla series.
Yeah. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that answer. If it was the real Godzilla and the real Loch Ness monster, Nessie would be toast.
Yeah.
So predator hunting cryptids. Hey, Bigfoot and a predator fighting?
Oh, man, yeah. If this is who I think it is, Spawn, yeah, I figured that. Yeah, that'd be really interesting. Because, hey, at least it would take humans off the list for a while and we go hunt them.
Yeah.
You know? And predator hunting, you know, Sasquatch or anything else, yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. See how he would do with it. And probably that'd be so funny, like he walks into a sign and like drops a head. There you go. Real.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. What other things like you'd like to, like other cryptids you like to see the predator hunt?
A lot of those, like I said, a lot of those beast type cryptids, I would definitely think predator would go after.
I'm just like
not just here in the States, but all over the world.
Yeah, I'm just saying like predator versus Bigfoot.
Depending on, once again, if the predator, you mean predator with all his weaponry and everything?
Yeah, but I think like they've hunted animals before. So yeah. Thank you for that question, Spawn. Next question comes from King Nazaru, and he asks, what would you think, who would win a fight between Loch Ness Monster and Smaug? Smaug?
Smaug, yeah, I would go with that one.
Because you see, Smaug is, 1, he's got the aerial advantage, 2, he's a lot bigger, and 3, he's smarter.
Yeah.
Nessie's just an animal. Sorry. So, thank you for that question, King Nazaru. Next question comes from Draconix13. I apologize if I have totally butchered that name. He asks, what cryptid piques your scientific supernatural interest the most? Like, which ones are we most interested in to learn about? That's what he's asking.
Definitely the one that really, I'll tell you the first one that really got me, because just the backstory of it, I was just like, wow, and stuff like that, was the Jersey Devil. It had to be that one, because you just hear that, the backstory of, you know, just like, this woman, mother leads, she had many kids, and the last kid she had, she literally said that, hope it's a devil, it comes out, and it turns out to be that flies out, and it's just like, wow, that's kind of interesting. Where'd this come from? And as always, you know, most myths or legends have a bit of truth to them. There has to be, there is some.
Yeah, there are Leeds descendants.
Yeah, and then there's, you know, people, yeah, descendants of that, and then, like I said, there's a lot of people who have claimed they've seen this thing, and, you know, they even had where there was a family that actually had took a lie detector test, and they passed it, and it was just more like, now I'm not saying that you can't fake those and things like that, in terms of there are ways of getting past those, but even to people describing them, they had this artist come along and make a sculpture of it, and they actually showcasing what it looked like, big red eyes and this and that, and you know, they talked about how it was on top of their roof, and they had actual pictures of their roof the next day, and there were strange prints on top of their roof that were embedded in the snow, and I was just like, okay, hey, should this thing be real or not? You know, so that was the one that really kind of definitely got me my keen scientific, you know, to really think of, okay. But I couldn't believe a lot of some of the things, like what it looked like. Like the most famous picture it looks like is this elongated horse, backs like a wing, you know, things like that. I can't really buy that one, but the picture or the sculpture that the sculptor made for the family, I was like, okay, wow, that one made me kind of believable.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Jersey Devil as well because it just sounds terrifying. Another one is I don't know, like, aside from that, I think another one is the skunk ape, who my cousin claims to have seen.
Yeah, the skunk ape, yeah.
Yeah, because, I don't know, because that's our cryptid.
Yeah.
The skunk ape, because my cousin claims to have seen the skunk ape. He claims that him and his friends were out one day in the, like, marsh, and this huge shadow just stood up out of the bushes and climbed up, like, just grabbed a branch and just swung up to it in one clean motion, and they got the hell out of Dodge.
But like I said, like, most of them are also, I believe, are like, there's more importantly because of, you know, the size of certain, like they're talking about. There's some that, you know, the giant bears that are really huge. That I remember watching on Monster Quest, and you know, I'm like, okay, that's more believable. That, and I'm talking bears that are bigger than polar bears and the Kodiak bear combined. So I'm like, we're talking great bears then.
Yeah.
Okay, that could work. I could might buy that.
All right. So you want to move on to the next question?
All
right. Next question comes from Galactus Girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey girl.
Yes.
Ever heard of the Kongamato, the Petrosaurus of Central Africa?
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Really? Because I've only heard a little of it. What is it supposed to be again?
It's if she's talking about the one I think she's talking about, it's supposed to be like this giant beast. It's like a mixture of a hyena and saber tooth. If that's the one I think she's talking about.
No, it's like she's saying it's like a dinosaur.
Then the other one is, it's more like a I can't never pronounce it. It's another genre of the brontosaurus,
Diplodocus.
But yeah, that's the one I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard of one, like another one from Africa where it's supposed to look like a T-Rex.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah, like it's supposed to be a large carnivore, but I gotta still put my foot down. Like, you would have seen that by now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, there's always, yeah, that's exactly it. It's like the one that Elijah's talking about. Yeah, it's like a Diplosaurus. It's in the Republic of Congo, Central Africa. There we go. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Alright. Yeah, we've heard of it. So thank you for that question, Galactus Girl. Next comes from Burnouter7. He asks, what are the top 13 cryptids that you would like to see used in horror movies? I don't think if I could think of 13, but I could think of a few. What about you, Chris?
I can think of a few, not, and I'm talking good versions of it, because I've seen crappy versions of cryptids in crappy horror movies.
Alright. So I'm going to go with the Jersey... There has been recently a Jersey Devil horror movie called The Barons.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Definitely Jersey Devil. They did the Mothman, but it was more like a mystery with Richard Gere, and that was really good. I actually like that. I actually have that in my collection.
Yeah, the Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, Mothman Prophecies. Definitely more supernatural. As like I said, the Owl Witch I would actually want to see. Maybe a Sasquatch.
We get Bigfoot movies all the time.
That's the thing. It's like we get those all the time, and they're either comedies or bad crap. I would love to see them maybe try to do. Well, they've done the Death Worm too, because that's what Tremors was basically.
And they've done Mongolian Death Worm movies.
Yeah. Maybe the Monster of Monterey.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be
Um, what else would be good? The huh, the the Dover Demon.
Dover Demon. Yeah, I was about to say that one.
Yeah. I think the Owl Man would be interesting.
Yeah, the Owl Man. And the Pokai, which is this very large bird that is in it's in New Zealand. It's a New Zealand cryptid.
I think another one that would be cool is there has been a few on this one, but I'd like to see a good Wendigo horror movie.
Yeah, Wendigo. That'd be kind of cool.
I would like to see one on the. That would be another good one. I got nothing.
I'm trying to remember one. I know there's one I look at. Maybe silence.
I don't know, dude. I can't think of any others.
I think I'm done.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for that one, Burnouter. Next question comes from Aaron Izzard, and he asks, what obscure cryptids do you find most fascinating? I myself find the Dover Demon an interesting one. How about you? Well, the thing is with the Dover Demon, it was only seen for one night, but by like 10 different people.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, what's it called? It's once again, it's in Australia. It's like supposed to be like a big monitor lizard, actually.
I know what you're talking about, like this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a giant monitor lizard.
Yeah, and that's another one that I'm thinking of, because that was actually, I first saw that once again on Lost Tapes, and it was chasing this guy who was like a survivalist. He got bit by it and it kept chasing him and things like that until he finally caught him.
Yeah.
You know, they based it off of kind of the fact that, you know, it's like how most monitor lizards, especially the Komodo dragon, like they'll bite you and they'll just track you down when you die. And I was just like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but they're saying like this thing is huge, and if you see it, it's really big. So that one kind of is interesting.
That one I'm willing to believe because it's supposed to live in like the deep forests of of Australia.
Yeah, somewhere really deep, so you can't really. And I remember once again they said there was documented that these hikers went out and they got lost, and all people could find were tracks of them on the beach, and something was chasing them. And it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, didn't they say it was like large lizard tracks?
Yeah, like large tracks chasing it, and you see like something, like a huge tail or something dragging behind it. I was like, okay. They never found the bodies, but they found like the tracks. So, okay.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you for that question, Aaron Izzard. Next, our last question comes from Alistair Boneman, and Alistair asks, what are your feelings on dragon, men, lizard cryptids, or creators from the Cthulhu mythos, like the deep god mythos, and what do you like? Do you like the Naga mythos or the mermaid stuff?
A lot of those are kind of interest me. I don't really buy the dragon stuff too much.
Well, the thing, like with dragons, like I could believe that something like a dragon in prehistoric times existed, because you can't tell me that all these different people from across the world had dragons in their mythos.
Yeah, but with the mermaid thing, that kind of gets me a little bit interested in that one because, once again, you know, the documentaries of stuff like that, and it's just like, okay, could mermaids have existed? And then they start going on all to the backstory of how they did, you know, like, what was that documentary they did called The Body? And
well, that was a fake documentary, though.
Huh?
That was a fake documentary.
Yeah. But I'm more intrigued by the documentaries of like the dragons and the lizards and things like that, because like all these different, you know, people have had some form of dragon-like creature in their mythos, and I'm like, okay, that could be believable. And kind of the same thing with a lot of the you know, giant ape mythos and stuff like that, because like they, with Sasquatch, it goes back as far as just far back. You know, Native Americans believe in it. You know, believe it's actually it's not a creature of, you know, just myth. It's real.
Yeah.
And then now they're saying that the Sasquatch could be of alien based and things like that. I'm like, all right, that's
it.
I don't buy that one too much, but a lot of it goes on to say, like, when they see, you know, identified objects, they actually finally see a Sasquatch or something like that. I'm just like, okay, that connection, I don't see the connection.
Yeah. Yeah, with reptile ones, like, the thing is that reptiles have officially had their evolutionary limit.
Mm-hmm.
So now something big lizards could exist, like dragons. Something like a dragon had to have existed. Now, I'm not saying, like, I'm not trying to sound crazy here, but I'm betting you that something like a dinosaur, and maybe bones were found all over the world, or maybe they confused dinosaur bones with dragons. That's another possibility. It's probably the best possibility.
You know, it's just with dragons is hard because I can't buy something that can blow fire, so especially alive, that can internally blow fire. I'm like, I can't buy that. How does he not die?
Yeah. You know, real quick, backtracking to one question we had on horror movies, there's one monster, it's not really a cryptid, it's a legend, way back, called the Beast of El Gavitan.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a wolf-like monster that hunted in France.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been a movie on it. It was a French movie. I'd never seen it, but I'd like to see a movie done on that. So yeah, that was our questions. Also, before we go, in case anyone had any questions, there may have been a chance that YouTube marked this spam. So I do apologize if someone had a question on here and I didn't answer it. It was more than likely YouTube's fault. So I do deeply apologize for that. But yeah, I want to thank Chris for joining me on this Q&A.
Yeah.
Chris, did you have fun with this?
Yeah.
Alright guys, once again, thank you so much for the questions, and yeah, we out.